All right, we're on with that. You literally have to be a 90s kid to remember a time when the Resident Evil franchise consistently had good video games being released. However, in modern times, the old horror series mostly consist of mediocre third-person shooters and laughable live-action movies. So you'd imagine Capcom would be trying to resuscitate this shambling mess, but you are undead wrong. It was announced earlier this week that Resident Evil is getting yet another film made, albeit made entirely in CGI. Although the details are scarce about the film at this point, we do know that the animated film is set to be released the same year as the next live-action Resident Evil movie. So it looks like someone's about to cannibalize their own ticket sales, eh, Julia?
Ha! Got him. That's a bold strategy, Dalton. Let's see if it pays off. In other movie news, if you're a big Star Wars fan, which, let's be honest, everybody is, then you're in for a big treat this upcoming week. On Monday, October 19th, this Monday, Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens tickets will be up for pre-sale. Cinemark, a Brazilian movie theater, had accidentally leaked this information on their Facebook page, which roughly translated to, next Monday will begin the pre-sale of Star Wars The Force Awakens at #Cinemark. Run before the stormtroopers end up with all the tickets. How cute. But don't worry, because Screen Crush has confirmed that AMC theaters will be doing the same thing here in the good old US of A. You will also be able to purchase tickets for the 17-hour marathon of all 7 movies.
Oh boy, how much is that gonna cost me, Julia?
Like $50?
Man, that's a one legendary price. Speaking of legendary prices, Legendary Pictures just announced that we will be getting a bunch of new monster-themed movies. King Kong Skull Island is our first new title, which will be coming out in 2016 and maybe early 2017. We will then be getting a sequel to the newest Godzilla, and then the two monsters will battle it out to the death in the third movie, Godzilla vs. King Kong.
How exciting! I'd love to see a boxing match between our favorite lizard god and the King of Kong.
Now, if you could bet on one of the two winning, who would you think it would be? I mean, personally, I would be betting on Godzilla because look at the shirt.
I'd have to agree, especially because of his nuclear bad breath. But knowing the movie, it'll give them a mutual enemy and they'll fight side by side in the end. Anyway, there are no confirmed dates for the two later titles, but you can bet on them not being released anytime soon.
So at least 2019 in the distant future, maybe the next Star Wars movie will come out by then. Who knows?
Sure.
So Julia, one thing that always confused me about the King Kong versus Godzilla debate is King Kong has to climb up the Empire State Building, right?
Yeah.
Well, Godzilla is the size of an Empire State Building, so how is that a fair fight?
Well, have you ever gotten a spider on you and you're like, oh God, gotta get it off? It's kind of like that.
Okay, I like spiders, so I want to know how was little Spider-Man, remember?
Oh God, no. Well, that wraps up our show for tonight. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and bytebsu.com.
And if you lose your progress, remember, you always have a checkpoint.
Bye.